Hello again, everyone, and thanks for watching. I'd like to, in this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about an emerging truth or an emerging reality that's coming out of North Korea. And I've talked about this several times before. This is like one of my favorite subjects, actually. And but each time I try to approach it at a different angle. What I'm really talking about is how people have a new regard or a different regard for North Korea. They're thinking differently about it, slightly different. And in this case, the emerging truth I'm talking about here is that one of the primary messengers of that truth, or the carriers of that truth, is none other than the First Lady of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Ri Sol-ju, the wife of the Supreme Leader, Kim Jong-un. And she continues to fascinate me, like all the women of North Korea do. And I think the women of North Korea just fascinate a lot of people, especially a lot of South Koreans, both men and women. You know, what kind of people are these? And it's an interesting subject. And anyway, the idea is the question is, how can Ri Sol-ju be a truth or an emerging truth? And the best way to answer that question is to understand how powerful images are. What kind of an enormous amount of information a single image can carry. You can waste a lot of time writing a lot of books and a lot of pages and a lot of, putting print down on pages, words, and millions of words cannot convey the information that a single image can. And give you an example of this. Until the last few days of 2011, but up till then, I was convinced that North Korea was a totalitarian Stalinist state, just like everybody else thinks. It's what I've been hearing, and it's what it was all in the news, and maybe to a certain extent, North Korea was a totalitarian state. Of course, under in South Korea, under Park Chung-hee and his merry band of cutthroats, is running a military junta in South Korea. So, in many respects, South Korea wasn't a whole lot better off than North Korea during that time. But there was a sequence of images that started to change my mind about North Korea and reveal a different truth. I don't want to say a hidden truth, but it was maybe a disguised truth or a truth that had been kept from us. But the first image I saw was a picture of Kim Jong-un at a funeral procession for his father. And he's standing by the right front fender of that Lincoln Continental town car limousine, on the roof of which was his father's casket on the way to his final resting place at Kumsusan Palace of the Sun. And what really startled me was that it was an American automobile, a Lincoln Continental town car limousine. And it was no ordinary Lincoln. It was a Maloney, which a Maloney is a reworked Lincoln Continental by the Maloney coach builders in Chicago. And Kim Jong-il had, I don't know, half a dozen of these Maloneys. And these are limousines made for heads of state, for really important people. And they'll take a Lincoln Continental, and the coach builders will totally rework it, and to make it more fitting for somebody that's important, such as the head of state. But can there be a symbol, any more of a symbol of capitalist decadence than a limousine made by the right-wing capitalist Henry Ford. How does that work in North Korea? Maybe the history behind it doesn't make any difference. So the history of Ford Motor Company doesn't make any difference in North Korea. Certainly didn't make much of a difference to the Soviet Union when Henry Ford was over there building truck plants for Stalin. But so maybe that's, I don't know. But really, I was totally blown away by that, by the idea of a Lincoln Continental at the funeral of the dear leader Kim Jong-il. And then not long afterwards, in 2012, I want to say in the fall of 2012, I happened to see the Morong Bong Band. And that totally blew my mind. And especially the leader and the first violin of the Morong Bong Band, Sonu Hyangwei. And I fell head over heels in love with this woman. She's perfect. She played so exquisitely. She was such in command and control of her art. And she plays the violin better than Itzhak Perlman. I put two recordings up side by side, her playing gypsy airs and Itzhak Perlman playing gypsy airs. She makes Itzhak Perlman sound amateurish. She's very good. So this I had to ask myself, how much of a totalitarian state is North Korea? If it can produce a woman this beautiful, that plays music so well, at such a high level, just how totalitarian is North Korea. And I had to conclude that it really probably isn't. North Korea is not so much totalitarian as authoritarian. And authoritarian, there's a lot of countries that are authoritarian. Certain elements of my government, United States, are authoritarian. And if you're looking for authoritarian, you need look no further than the United Kingdom and its leader, Theresa May. Really a horrible, horrible woman. And she's using her intelligence apparatus, MI6, to go after the leader of another country, Vladimir Putin, and try to wipe him out. And then she's trying to remove a sitting president, Donald Trump, and wipe him out by using MI6. That's a subject for another video. But the MI6 is involved in both operations, attacking Putin and trying to get rid of Trump. And she might succeed in getting rid of Trump. And but that's a bit of a digression. But again, when you compare North Korea to other countries, and you would say, well, now it's no longer so totalitarian as it is authoritarian. So well, maybe they're not such bad people. I mean, North Korea is definitely, there's not a bunch of Boy Scouts in government. These are some tough people, but they're not necessarily bad people, if you understand what I'm saying. So, and I did, the more I looked into Kim Jong-un and watched him and looked at the videos, the more I liked the guy. I really do. And I think a lot of people will come to that conclusion, that Kim Jong-un is a likable fellow, as heads of state go. He's not a bad person. To my way of thinking, Kim Jong-un is a better man than his father, and he's easily the equal of his grandfather, Kim Il-sung. Kim Il-sung was, a good guy. I liked him, even though he was tough as nails. And sometimes he had to do what he had to do. He had to bring the hammer down. And probably made a few mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But all in all, Kim Il-sung wasn't a bad guy. So this is the process which caused me to change my mind, or to alter my way of thinking about North Korea. And it was just a series of images. And up till now, the communication between North and South Korea has been nothing but invective. They're hurling insults back and forth, calling each other names. They periodically stop and say, well, maybe we should try to be friends. Then they drop it and go back and forth. They pull dirty tricks on each other. And but at some point, Kim Jong-un took the initiative and called a halt to it. And I give him the credit for it. The reason why he could is because now he had a partner in President Moon Jae-in of South Korea, who is a different guy altogether than his predecessors. I mean, the last two presidents got tossed into prison. And Moon Jae-in will never get, he's a good person. He's a decent sort. So he's somebody that Kim Jong-un can work with. And but the words weren't getting anybody anywhere because you just get in this slanging match and people get mad. So I'm thinking, I don't know, somebody, and I've talked about this before quite a few times, but somebody in North Korea finally figured it out, that images are more powerful than words, far more powerful. A single image without commentary can really have a powerful effect on public opinion. So he sent Hyeon Sang-woo. The woman who Chosun Ilbo claimed that Kim Jong-un had machine gunned to death, and their article on August 29th, 2013, you can look it up. Chosun Ilbo said, he machine gunned her to death, and then forced members of the Morangbong Band and the Unhasu Orchestra to watch. That single thing just gets me more angry than almost anything else. Simply lying about what happened. So he sent Hyeon Sang-woo out and just charmed everybody. Everybody was just totally taken with her because she was so poised, cool, and beautiful. And then he followed it up by sending his sister, Kim Yo-jong. And Kim Yo-jong really charmed President Moon Jae-in. She's really something. And I've made a couple of videos on her separately. I really, really like her. But these two women started to change minds in South Korea regarding North Korea. Just the images of these two women. And they were all over the South Korean media. And just like my mind was changed when I saw Sun and Hyung-wee. So wait a minute. This is North Korea. How can I continue to hate a country in which this beautiful woman lives? And a lot of South Koreans are asking themselves, how can we continue to hate North Korea when Hyeon Sang-woo lives there? And Kim Yo-jong, the sister of the supreme leader, which seems such a nice person. They see how that works? And then, so we followed up. And as I mentioned before, and I keep saying this, but then Kim Jong-un follows it up with his wife, Ri Sol-ju. And now things start to really get serious because people are saying, well, this is his wife. This is the first lady of North Korea. And look at her, how beautiful she is and how poised. And how much affection that Ri Sol-ju and Kim Jong-un have for each other. Their open affection, you rarely see that in world leaders. There's a certain aloofness, but not with these two. And this one picture of them standing together in China just fascinates me because you study the looks on their faces, how they look. And she's just enormously happy. And Kim Jong-un is like bursting with pride. This is, I'm here in China, I'm talking to President Xi, and I got my lovely wife with me. Okay? And in other pictures, you'll see Kim Jong-un with his wife, and the man is grinning like he just won the Tri-City Powerball. He just like millions, he's just so happy. So I mean, that's the impression they give. That's the perception you get from looking at the images. And so we're going to be seeing a lot more of Ri Sol-ju. This upcoming, the 27th of this month, April 27th, is when the summit meeting is going to be between Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in at the Peace Village there. So we'll be seeing more of Ri Sol-ju. And then there may be a meeting where Kim Jong-un goes to Moscow and meets with President Vladimir Putin. Again, more Ri Sol-ju. And then, if there's a meeting between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump, again, we'll see Ri Sol-ju. I made that a video about that, sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing about the two first ladies meet. What would it look like? I did kind of a Photoshop lash-up of it, but again, we'll be seeing. So you understand how this emerging truth, this emerging reality, where people are starting to look at North Korea a bit different, and like I did, and I was just ahead of most everybody else when I saw this, and a lot of it is to do with Ri Sol-ju, how she carries this new reality, and she's forcing people to have another look at North Korea and say, well, you know, maybe they're not totalitarian, maybe they're just merely authoritarian. Which again, like I say, a lot of countries, including the United Kingdom, are authoritarian. So anyway, I just wanted to leave you with that little thing, and just kind of keep an eye on Ri Sol-ju. She's pretty special. But again, these women that we see coming out of North Korea are very special, and you know, to my way of thinking anyway. And I think a lot of people think that way. So anyway, I'll leave it at there for the moment in you know, my discussion on the emerging truth, and we'll see what happens. But it should be interesting to watch. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.